The lights are off and away they go.
Extremely loose. He's managed to hold on and they get.
He missed the complete. That is crazy
Other
stuff.
side, Freitas is on the grass on the infield floor. He slides through. He tags Richard Eklund.
Welcome once again, folks, to the greenvalleylake.com MX-5 World Tour. We have been with these drivers over 11 races so far, and here we are broadcasting round number 12 of season 7 from Road Atlanta in Braselton, Georgia in the US of A. Hello, I am Richard, and with me in the booth we've got Brian Corwin and Bill Zahn. Hello, Brian.
Hello, Richard. Wow, it's hard to believe it's already been 11 races, but with the way things have been going the last couple of weeks, I'm looking forward to this one. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, this is out of a total of 15, we're on race number 12. And Bill, how are you, my friend?
Very good. It's a beautiful day in Atlanta for the fans. I think we're going to have a good race today.
I'm certainly hoping for that. Mind you, this is Road Atlanta. I'm pretty sure we will have a good race. And folks, our director today is Giancarlo Lenzi. Now, Brian, let's talk a little bit about the track. It said that if they built a roller coaster for road racing drivers, it would be Road Atlanta. So tell us a little bit about this track.
Yeah, certainly, Richard. The track opened in 1970 and it has been home to a myriad of SCCA sanctioned events in different series. It's also the home of the 1,000-mile Petit Le Mans, the premier event of the former American Le Mans series. The track today is 2.54 miles in this layout. We're racing the full layout today. That's also 4.08 kilometers, and it features a 12-turn configuration. This track has many typical and very tricky styles of cornering, but the elevation changes are very, very tricky, and a lot of the corners are blind due to the different elevation changes. Today's race is going to be 27 grueling laps in length, so it's going to be one of the longer races of our season, but nonetheless it's going to be a good race. And the best overtaking chances today will be in turn 1 and coming out of the chicane in turn 10. Richard?
Yeah, that's right. And we are certainly looking at a very, very interesting race coming up. I'm pretty sure it's hot out the front, and the championship, of course, is winding down, Bill. So tell us a little bit about how things are going in the championship. I see that Freitas still leads.
He had an 88-point lead on Richard Eklund going into race 11 last week, and he came away with a 61-point lead. Now, the way the race points work out is you get 100 points for a victory, 90 points for second, 83 for third, and if you finish last, you get 25. And the rest of the points are rationed out evenly between 25 and 83, between last and third place. So the best you can do is, if you're trying to catch somebody, is to win a race, score 100, and hope that that guy you're chasing finishes last. You can gain 75 points. So Eklund is within striking distance now. If disaster were to hit Freitas, you could see a new leader here in the points at the end of the race. Koemans and Freitas are going to start in the third row. Eklund had a horrible qualifying session. He's going to start 9th. Now, on the pole is Brad Wooden sitting in 8th place in our points. I'm sorry, he's not on the pole. He's on the outside of the first row. On the pole, and here's my sleeper. I don't know if you can call him a sleeper for a victory, but he starts on the pole. But it's Yuri Yanis. He had a pretty good qualifying session. He finished in the quick 6. His standings are so bad that he gets put on the pole. His season is going off the rails like a crazy train. Yeah, I quoted Ozzy Osbourne. That's probably a first for Global Sim Racing Channel. Anyway, so keep an eye on Yuri Yanis. He might be able to do a wire-to-wire here today. And one last thing to look at in the points is we like to see Trevor Mack in that Big Mac car made his way up into the 10th place position. So he's had some very good finishes the last couple races, and there's room for him to even get a little farther up there. Okay, back to you, Rich.
Righty out. Thanks, Bill. I also noticed that Simon Van Duyn has moved up into the 9th place in the standings, so that's pretty useful. Anyway, we now have something like 3 minutes left before the start of this race. I'm really excited about that. We best talk about the keys to the race, Brian, brought to us by Cozy Cabins in Green Valley Lake.
Sure, Richard. Well, the keys to the race are going to be pretty short and sweet today. First thing you got to do is handle the blank corners. As I mentioned before, with the elevation changes the way they are, a lot of the corners are easy to come up on very quickly and not set up for them correctly. And with the way traffic flows, if you're really close on the back of someone, those blank corners become an issue. But with the skill of the drivers, I don't think that'll be a factor in today's race. Also, you want to get a good exit coming out of the slowest corner on the track, which is turn 7. And right after turn 7 is the longest straight at the track at Road Atlanta Full, and it's really easy to get caught up in the draft and pass someone if they get a bad exit out of turn 7. So those that are trying to hold on to the position or take over a position, you want to get a good exit out of turn 7. You also, as I mentioned in the past, have to look at how your pit strategy is going to come into play, because today, unlike a lot of the last couple of races we had, Road Atlanta's pit entry is on a downhill blind sweeper coming out of the corner right before the start-finish line. So it's really easy to get that wrong and lose control of the car, or maybe overrun and hit the wall at the end of the hill. So unlike, I guess you could say Sebring, Laguna Seca, Zolder, all of the tracks we've done in the last couple of weeks, the pit road here today is very tricky, and getting the pit road right is going to make or break your race today. Richard?
Yeah, fantastic rundown there, Bill. A lot of things to look out for. I think what the drivers either love or hate most about this track is those elevation changes that you spoke about. They are, I tell you what, they're huge here. I mean, you go, it is really like a roller coaster. So expect guys to be off track a fair bit, coping with this track. But, you know, I love this track. I just think it's one of those classic tracks where once you get it, it's an absolute thrill to run around here. So I'll get you guys' thoughts now on what you think, or sorry, who you think might win this race. Bill, we'll start with you. Who do you think is looking good today? I know you mentioned Jay Yanis. Is there anyone else in your sights?
Now, I'd stick with Yuri Yanis, but I like Timo Tuliainen too. So we'll keep an eye on him in the Eagles Nest Tap-in car. Brian, what do you think?
Oh, tough question, Bill. I think Yao Freitas, as fast as he is going to be overdue for a win. We've seen him get caught out by a few accidents in the last couple of weeks. I'm going to go with Yao today. He's got my vote.
Okay, well, Jan Koolmans is not certainly out of it. That's a definite. And he should be in the top 6 somewhere, which we'll tell you all about when we read the grid. We are almost ready for that. But the dark horse in this race for me is Brad Wooten. That's not because he's an Aussie and I'm an Aussie. He's shown some really good pace here. I was watching the qualifying. I was watching the practice. He's shown some very reasonable pace. So I'm going to go with Brad Wooten to win this race. And of course, that's going to cause all kinds of problems for me, Brian, between the names of yourself and Brad.
Yeah, that has been a little problematic this season, Richard. But I'm not too worried about it. It's all in good fun, and it's become kind of a running joke here in the MX-5 World Tour. So hey, I'll take it if it means good entertainment.
Alrighty, well, folks, they are gridding up as we speak. So let us get on the grid. Brian, how about you call the start for us today? You're up to that?
Yeah, we can do that. Let's real quick before we get going here. We're going to start out with Jair Yanis in first, Brad Wooten's in second, Thomas Szabo's going to start in third. In fourth place, we got Timo Tuliainen. Fifth place, we got Jan Koolman. Sixth place is Yao Freitas. Seventh place, Sergio Mora. Eighth place, Sam McAleer. Ninth place is going to be Richard Eklund. And 10th place is Trevor Mack. Right, Richard?
Yep, and after Trevor Mack, we've got Benjamin Lanouette, Simon Van Duyn, Heinrich Lawrence, Arthur Chan, Kim Veiter, Jake Tucker as they are firing up now, Craig McKenzie, Joseph Ero, George 5. Back to you, Brian.
Yeah, Giannis is going to take the lead. He got a little bit of a bad jump as we see Brad Wooten try to go on the outside. It looks like Thomas Szabo is going to go 3 wide as he looks on the inside coming into turn 1. He's going to back down just a little bit, giving, let's see, Giannis a turn into the inside line here as Brad Wooten looks outside. It looks like double file. Thomas Szabo is going to go single file. We go single file with it. It looks like Jan Koolman's stuck on the inside. Richard, we got everybody pouring through that kink. Giannis got a little bit of a gap, but he's followed close behind by Thomas Szabo and Brad Wooten, who's in second place.
Yeah, and the big mover there was indeed Jan Koolman, Brian. He's shot by Timo Tuliainen to pick up a spot there. He's already now up to 4th place, and he will have Tomas Zabo in his sights. But leading the race, as you said, Jay Yanis, and he's got a little break on the field just there. Having started in 1st place, you always have that small advantage. Brad Wooden chasing Tomas Zabo, Jan Koolmans and Timo Tuliainen. So how did the start go towards the back?
Yeah, it looks like we got Yao Freitas in the grass. He got bumped by, I believe it was Sergio Mora. I had an inopportune camera at the time, so I didn't see exactly what happened. But right now we're focused on Yuri Yanis as he goes down the front, or excuse me, the back straight, followed behind by a pack of Hornets as they are going all over the place. We got Brad Wooden, Thomas Zabo, we got Jan Koolmans, and Sergio Mora, and even Timo Tuliainen all just powering down into that tricky chicane at the bottom of the hill as we see 2 wide back there in the corner. Yuri Yanis is coming in now. His lead's getting even bigger due to the battles behind him. Only see now. We have a spin in the chicane. Bill, did you see what happened?
We've got different camera sets at the moment. Let's just see if we can get a replay. If we can't, meanwhile, back at the front, the action is hot here, Brian. We've got Sergio Mura on the back of this pack now, behind Timo Tuliainen. And there's the spin in replay. It looks like Jay Yanis. Is that Jay Yanis spinning there? The 95 car of Jay Yanis, perhaps.
I believe it was Kim Vader, excuse me. I just want an update that our race leader, Jerry Giannis, though, did have a scary off going up the hill into turns 2 and 3. He was able to hold on, but he came wide out of the S's. He's going down the first back straight, I guess you would call it, as he has the pack of Thomas Zabo, Jerry Giannis, or excuse me, Jan Koolmans, and a few others back there battling. Looks like we have a little bit of an issue with our communication today. We'll get you a little bit of information here about what happened on the last lap and get you all caught back up here.
Let me jump in here for a minute. Yeah, we had a 3-way crash between Kim Vader, Mihai Misisen, and Ayrton Ellis. You know, Ayrton he's one of the GSC announcers, and you know, he looked like he tried to make it 3 wide, and it didn't look good for Ayrton. That we'll have to. I think he's looking at a penalty coming up. Back to you guys in the front.
Well, an inauspicious start for Ayrton Ellis in the GSRC Mazda, but nonetheless, the action is up front. Jay Yanis still leading this race. He is coming up to the start-finish now to finish lap number 2. And so far, it has been fierce, as we have come to expect here, Brian. Tomas Zabo now into 2nd place and Jan Koolmans in 3rd place. Brad Wooden has been relegated to 4th place. Brian, what happened there?
I didn't really see what's been going on. I've been trying to get caught up myself. We had a lot going on in the first couple of laps, but right now I'm looking at Thomas Zabo as he's getting chased down by Jan Koolmans. These guys have been going pretty hard throughout as we see them just jumping and diving. I think I saw Jan Koolmans blink a little bit. That might be a result of my connection, however. Looks like Richard Eklund a little ways back is trying to take that position over Sergio Mora. So as we see here, we're still parading around, not quite separated like we're used to seeing in the series. And there's lots of intense battles going on all over the track, Richard.
Absolutely. Let's just put the cameras on Richard Eklund, who is currently sitting in 7th place. He is just behind Sergio Mura, who in turn is behind Timo Tuliainen. It's quite a long train that we've got here, but Jay Yanis at the front running away. But we're watching Richard Eklund at this point in time as they go down that long straight. It's a downhill section. It's not actually a straight, so to speak. There's a right-hand kink in it, but it's all downhill into a chicane, which means you're hard braking to get the car slowed down enough, even for these little cars with not much speed. And they're in one long train there, Brian, heading up the hill now to finish yet another lap. Anybody's race this so far.
Yeah, I'm really amazed at how clean this gone, despite the 3-car battle we had. As we see Thomas Zabo followed by several other guys, and Sergio Mora and Richard Eklund. They're going 2 by 2 going into some of these corners, but they're giving each other so much room. And last time we were here, we saw a lot of bump and run type of deals. So the fact that this time around we're doing so much better, just managing our spacing and our situational awareness, this has been some very, very pretty racing. And this is the type of racing we've come to know and love here in the MX-5 World Tour, Richard.
Absolutely fantastic racing. We're now on board with Timo Tuliainen as we see him behind Sergio Mora. Watch how rough this track is on the cars, guys. Timo Tuliainen doing an absolutely great job. Just bear in mind that right behind him is Richard Eklund in the blue car. But just watch Timo Tuliainen, watch the car in front of him rock and bump along this fairly bumpy track. As Timo got a touch there from Richard Eklund just behind him now, as we look out of his rear view, and we see looming up behind Timo the blue car of Richard Eklund. So this is an absolute fantastic camera action going on right here, and I must say our director is doing a great job as they go 2 by 2. Brad Wooten and Sergio Muro into the chicane together there, Brian.
Yeah, it's very interesting to watch these guys outbreak each other. This isn't like you typically see at Road Atlanta with cars with the Le Mans style downforce packages or the super GT brakes. These guys are driving basically stock Mazdas with racing slicks, and they're relying on the driver to be the factor in all of the madness that goes on the track. So very good work by everyone, just outbreaking each other, giving each other some room here on the track. As you can see how the elevation changes, the blank corners, it's very tricky to get through here, and everyone is doing a great job. How about Trevor Mack, Richard? He and Sam McAleer are just hanging in there with the fast guys, and Richard Eklund and Timo Tuliainen, and they are just been throwing together a couple of really good strings of races here lately, Richard.
Absolutely, and we're going to come to you in a second there, Bill. I just want to make mention of the fact that Richard Eklund has moved up one spot. He's past Timo Tuliainen. We are still driving with Trevor Mack, who you did say is doing a great job. He's in the big Mack car, of course, but some really fierce action there. And Brian, you called it exactly. These cars do not have any downforce packages. They are stock standard cars. It's all up to the drivers, and these drivers are some of the best that you will see in an MX-5 anywhere. Bill, what have you been seeing lately?
GL, let's go with me to the front of the pack now. We missed that Koemans got around for second place. He got around Zabel for second, and he is right behind now Urianis as he dives to the inside, and there's your pass for the lead. Koemans goes to the front, and now I think what's going to happen, he's going to leave the field behind like a fart at a party and look for him to put a big lead coming up here. GL, come with me real quick back to 12th spot. You're going to see something that you usually don't see, guys. Back here is Yao Freitas, your points leader, sitting in 12th. Now, he had a first lap incident where he didn't look like there was much damage. He went off into the grass. I got a hunch when he went over the curb, maybe his suspension got damaged. He didn't hit the walls, he didn't hit anything, but he's very slow and he's not making up any ground. In 12th position, this is the break that the other drivers were needing. Is this the race that Freitas has trouble? Does lightning strike him here? This is going to be very interesting. Back to you, Rich.
Well, fantastic call there, Bill. Yao Freitas is indeed sitting in 12th place. We are driving with him at the moment. His car does look to have a bit of damage. The 346 car of Yao Freitas, that red car with some green in it, yellow in it. He is not making up any time on Simon Van Duyn, who is just ahead of him. So yes, I would not be surprised to see some damage there. Just going up one spot in front of Yao to Simon Van Duyn. He is currently making a move on Benjamin Lanouette. They threw that kink there going onto the back straight. He tried to make a move on Benjamin. It did not work, and now he's lost out to both Benjamin and Yao Freitas. But Brian, I want to come back to you in the front because it looks like the action is fierce once again.
Yeah, no, I see two parties forming out. One is with Jan Koemans and Urianis, and the other is with Thomas Szabo and I believe Sergio Mora. Both sets of drivers have been just launching over corners here, almost like last week at Lime Rock. I had to actually do a second look and make sure we weren't at Lime Rock, because I thought I saw Jan Koemans coming out of the S's, 4 wheels off the ground as you get that big curve at the bottom of the hill. So again, these guys know how to, like you said, they're the best MX-5 drivers around on iRacing, and they really know how to put their cars into situations where they can control it but be very aggressive at the same time. If you notice coming here through the kinks, these curbings are they're just a lot bigger than they look. So it's not uncommon to see cars get launched over them like we did last week at Lime Rock. Right now I'm looking at Jan Koemans as we come down the hill, followed close behind by Urianis. Richard.
Yep, Jan Koeman's doing a great job, having taken over the lead of this race right now. We are only on lap 7. We'll get to Bill, and Bill can talk to us about the pit strategy as he normally does. But I have to take my hat off to Jan Koemans. He has qualified in the fastest, and he did start, according to the quick sick, he started back in 6th place, no doubt. But he's taken this race by the scruff of the throat. Jay Yanis, who had a handy lead early on, he's caught him, past him. Sergio Mura in 3rd place is a little way behind Jay Yanis, but I do think Sergio Mura knows this track extremely well, and I would expect him to catch Jay Yanis, and then the battle will be on for the 2nd place. Tomas Zabo a little way back from Sergio Mura now. Brad Wooten has been passed by Richard Eklund. So Bill, it seems to me Richard Eklund has a sniff of the 1st position for the championship if he can do well in this race, and he's taking it and grabbing it with both hands.
Yeah, let me take a second to talk about Richard Eklund. And there's not a lot of battles going on back farther in the pack. Really, the top 10 is where the action is, so we'll stay up here for a while. The last couple of weeks, we've been talking about whether Eklund is interested in this championship or not. And this may seem counterintuitive, but we were talking about, well, certainly he's trying for the championship. Look how aggressive he's being. And he came back in the forums and pointed out, as he looks like he's going to make a run there on Zabo as he goes to the inside. Zabo blocks him. It looks like Eklund has a run as they go through left and right. That's some great driving, and now with some momentum in the back, it's Brad Wooden. Richard Eklund brought up this point. You'll know I'm serious for the championship when you don't see me driving aggressive. And that's kind of interesting. When he calms down, when he tames his demons, that's when he's thinking points. That's when you really need to pay attention to him. So let's see how he is. He's still giving Thomas Zabo everything he can hope for. You see Richard Eklund in that fluorescent blue Alpine Star car, and ahead of him is Thomas Zabo in the brown and white UPS car. Let me give it back to you, Richard. That's a great battle going on back there for 4th and 5th, and there's Eklund making a move. I think I'm going to throw it to you in just a second. He's going to the outside with the coming up to the, we have a left-hander coming up. He's going to get there. That's a nice pass down the straightaway. Back to you, Rich.
That's right. And now Richard Eklund, who we mentioned was back in 7th place a little while ago in this race, Brian. He is now up to 4th place, but looks like just in front of him we have got a battle with Sergio Mura and Jay Yanis. Brian?
Certainly, yeah. Sergio Mura and Yuri Yanis have been going at it for a while now, and sorry for the delay. I had to get back on the right stream here. My camera was on replay mode, so just going back and looking, we've seen a lot of great battles, but Yuri Yanis and Sergio Mura all season long have been just about the same pace and the same quality of driving, and they've been putting on some really good shows as far as battling goes, and it's always exciting to see these two going. Jan Koeman's up ahead. He's taking off. It looks like Bill's right. He is just going to pass everybody and leave him behind. I forget what Bill said exactly, but it has something to do with a fart in a party. Jan Koeman's, though, is having a great race today, and it shows because he had a great qualifying as well.
Well, let me say this. Jay Yanis was leading this race at the beginning. He was passed by Jan Koemans. I mentioned in the last lap that Sergio Mura was looking real pacey and that he would undoubtedly catch Jay Yanis and the race would be on. Well, he has caught and passed Jay Yanis right now, and he is in 2nd place. Jay Yanis in 3rd place as we look at the back. Go ahead there. Was that you, Bill?
No, I believe that was a driver over the microphone. Let's take a quick look here. We're going to follow the progress of Yao Freitas. There's nothing going on. He's all alone, but he's got past Van Doon, and he's got past Benjamin Lanowitz, so now he's up to 10th. We count this guy out every week, but watch him make lemons out of lemonade here. No, that's not what you do. You make lemonade out of lemons. Don't do that, Freitas. That would be wrong. Make lemonade out of lemons, and see if he can get a top 5 when we're all said and done. Back to you, Richard.
Yeah, as we see, whoa, we have a spinner. Jay Yanis is off the track. He hasn't spun just yet. He's trying to control the car. Can he bring it back before the SS? He does. Fantastic car control there by Jay Yanis. to get that car, which was way out in the grass. As we watch the replay, he's losing multiple positions now, Brian. As everyone passes him, he's now got to collect himself once again and get back on the pace. But that was a scary moment right there for Jay Yanis.
Yeah, that's a very common thing to see here at Road Atlanta. That corner is very, very tricky and hard to get through. Actually, in real life, if you guys didn't know this, if you flip your car there in turn one, you actually get a patch to put on your jacket. It's called the Flip Over Club or something like that. Anyways, a very common thing to see there. People overrunning turn one. It's very quick. It's uphill, and like we said earlier, these cars are basically stock. They don't got any downforce or tricky brake packages. All they got is the driver inside and a few pairs of racing slicks. So again, very hard to get the traction there. And Yuri Yanis went for a ride, but luckily he got to hold on and is going to continue to race out the race tonight.
Well, I tell you what, you got to take your hat off to Jay Yanis there. He brought that car back under control. He was gone for all money, but he's managed to bring it back under control. But he has lost a lot of spots right now. He's running behind Trevor Mack. As we go now back to the front with Sergio Mura, we're in car with Sergio Mura right now. Sergio Mura has been the big mover in this race, Brian. He is doing a fantastic job. He's currently sitting in second place behind Jan Koemans. Richard Eklund is the one behind him, but a fair way back at this point in time still. So a lot of action happening, but I like the way Sergio Mura has conducted his race. Now, Brian, before we come back to you, I'd like to talk to Bill about the pit strategy. Bill, when do you reckon these guys will start looking to pit?
I think the window opens from 13 to about, I think it's open right now, actually. So I think these guys should be coming in at any time if they feel like it. I think they can probably run to lap, what are we doing here, 20, what are we today, 27 laps? They can probably go to lap 18 or 19, I would think. So I think the window is open now. As I'm seeing a pass right now, and it looks like Brad Wooden is going around Thomas Szabo. I think Szabo got a slowdown penalty, and now Trevor Mack is going around Szabo. So let's see if we can go there. Szabo falls a little bit farther back, and Yuri Yanis is right behind Szabo now as Yuri tries to go to the outside with the left-hander coming up. And we have is Thomas going to be able to hold on? I think he is, and Yuri tucks right in behind that. Now right behind Yuri Yanis is Timo Tuliainen in that Eagle Nest Tavern car. Right behind him is Trevor Mack, and boy, there's a battle going on as Trevor Mack is the first to dash into the pits. And right behind Trevor Mack running in 10th is Yal Freitas. So we'll keep an eye on Mack and see where, McAleer. It's Sam McAleer going into the pits. We'll see where he comes out. Too many Macks to deal with. Back to you, Richard.
Yeah, and the battle is on right here between Jay Yanis and Tomas Szabo. They've been side by side for a little bit, and just behind them we've got Timo Tuliainen trying to get in on the action as well. Brian, these two guys showing a lot of respect, but managing to race side by side on this course, which we've said a lot about it. This is not your average trundle around course. It's a very, very difficult, a technical course, and yet these guys are running side by side with each other and going hammer and tongs with a track that is extremely tricky. Great job by these guys, Brian.
Yeah, I totally agree, and the fact that I'm hopefully not in replay mode now, I'm seeing Trevor Mack just lead this running of a bulls through turn 7, going on to that long stretch. These guys have just been really going all out, and it's really great to see them not having too many contacts and little mistakes. We were already here once this season on a different, shorter layout, but the principles of the track are pretty much the same. You got to mind your P's and Q's when you're going over those crests, because that is where a lot of the incidents will happen, and so far today, we've been able to minimize them to a great extent. Right now, I'm watching Timo Tuliainen as he goes down the hill into the chicane, followed close behind Yal Freitas. Yal's been a little off the pace today, as we mentioned, but like I said, he's very fast and consistent, and he is really good at capitalizing on others' mistakes. Right now, I see a red car piling off into the pits. Hopefully, he makes a good, safe stop. As we see, Yanis it was, as we see Timo Tuliainen just coming around, and he's going to choose to opt out another lap for that pit window, Richard.
Absolutely. So Jay Yanis is the first of the top drivers, or the drivers who were near the lead, to get into the pits. There is one in the pits already, Joseph Arrow. So we are going back now to see what's happening. We're currently with Timo Tuliainen, driving with Timo. Let us see what Timo is looking at. So Timo's got in front of him Brad Wooten by the looks of it. Yes, Brad Wooten, who's chasing Tomas Zabo and Trevor Mack. Trevor Mack doing a great job again, as we saw last week, Bill.
Yeah, I'm back looking at Yuri Yanis just exiting the pits now. I want to see how he fares with Sam McAleer, because both of those are the leaders, and McAleer has jumped him by, several corners. So it was not a good pit stop by Yuri Yanis. So we're going to keep an eye on the rest of those guys and see. It looks like Sam McAleer has set the bar to where pit strategy should be. So we'll see how the other guys, when they start to pit, how they exit the pit in relationship to Sam McAleer. Back to you, Rich.
Okay, so we want to go back to the battle with Trevor Mack in the Big Mac car. He's racing Tomas Zabo. They side by side right at the moment. And looking on just behind them is Brad Wooten, who passes Trevor Mack. Tomas Zabo passes Trevor Mack. Trevor Mack, a big loser out of that, coming into the chicane at the end of the long back straight. And now he's got it all to do again. He's just lost 2 positions there, Trevor Mack. But still doing a great job. He was in 4th place. He's now fallen back a little bit. And we're getting information. Brian, what was that information?
I'll jump in here. It's Tuliainen and Freitas are now in the pits. So we'll watch them and see, first of all, who's going to get out first out of those two, and then see how they fare in relationship to Sam McAleer, who was in the same battle. He was actually maybe a 1 car length ahead of these guys when he made his pit stop. Now, we've talked about Freitas. Freitas overshoots his pit. He had to back up, so that's going to cost him. That's not what you need to do in this kind of thing when you're trying to catch back up. Let's keep an eye. They're still in the pits. It's still, I know this is exciting for the viewers to watch cars sitting in the pits.
Bill, I need to break it. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Kim Vader just had a huge spin into the wall coming out of the S's. His race looks like it's going to be done because he's already complaining about that contact with Ayrton earlier and saying that his car was ruined. And now he just takes a heavy, heavy slide off the track into the cement wall. Richard, can you see the replay?
Yeah, I am watching the replay right now. He's already got a damaged car. Coming into this, he's slipping and sliding around, and coming into turn 5, he loses control of the car. The car spins and he hits the tire barrier right there, and I would say you're quite right. His day is done. Meanwhile, I want to update you folks. Jan Koolmans, who was leading this race, did have his pit stop. He's come back out of the pits and he's circulating once again. We are on lap 14 at this point. We must just tell you what the order is right now. Sergio Moura currently is in the lead of this. Sorry, Richard Eklund is in the lead of this race as we speak. He's just crossed the line. Obviously has not pitted yet. Sergio Moura in 2nd place. Tomas Zabo in 3rd currently. Trevor Mack in 4th place. But bearing in mind, folks, that our previous leader, the overall leader of the race, who was Jan Koolmans, has just come out of the pits. He is currently a little way down, but we'll see how it all shakes out once everybody makes their pit stops. Always a little bit of a confusing time around here, Brian, around the pit stop time.
Brad Wood.
Go ahead,
sorry.
Bill.
Wooden is in the pits right now. Now, I told you that McAleer was the guy to watch. Koolmans has made his pit stop, and he has come out 1 car ahead of McAleer. So now here's Brad Wooden coming out of the pits right now. I would expect that Koolmans should be able to get by Wooden, and I don't see Koolmans. Let me see if I can find him right now to see if he's like, did he pass him? Okay. So there's Wooden coming out. He's going to cycle in right behind that looks like Yuri Yanis and Timo Tuliainen. So Sam McAleer is still ahead of these guys. Back to you, Richard.
Yep, Brad Wooden out, going through the S's right now up to turn 5. Turn 5 is a magical turn. You get this turn right, it kind of slingshots you into that short straight, which leads down a little hill and then uphill into a banked right-hander, which in turn leads you into the toughest corner of this track. And it's a right-hander. Yanis just behind Brad Wooden there. Now you're on that back straight, coming a long, long way. You have a left-hand king and then a right-hand king going downhill. Fantastic track here, Brian.
Yeah, great track indeed, Richard. And, well, speaking of Richard and Richards, Richard Eklund is pulling away from Sergio Mora, who's in 2nd place. If you remember a couple laps ago, it was the other way around, and Richard is just like put on the afterburners or something. His pace has definitely increased. Also, we've seen a bobble by Sergio Mora. He lost quite a bit of time, so that might be a factor. I think he might be ready as we see him go a little wide again for his pit stop because he is just all over the place right now. Right now, it looks like Richard Eklund is capitalizing. He has nothing but open road in front of him with all the pit stops going on. So if he can keep this pace up, he might make up enough time to put himself in the position for yet again another win today at Road Atlanta.
Okay, let me jump in. Szabo has made a pit, and McAleer has jumped him as well. So Koeman's, when this all cycles through, I think Koeman is going to be our leader. Sam McAleer has made a great pit stop. Let's see if he has enough gas. Maybe he's short-filled, and we're just kind of kidding ourselves. But Sam's going to be running, I think, in second place by the time this is all said and done. Let me go back and see who's next to pit. Back to you, Rich.
All righty. Well, we are on lap number 16 of 27, so there is only 11 laps to go. Our leader currently is Richard Eklund. Sergio Mora in second place, and it looks to me like Sergio Mora, Brian, he's catching Richard Eklund.
Yeah, I think all those mistakes he made are starting to kind of minimize again, and he's picking up that pace. Right now, we see Sergio in the draft just making all that time up on Richard Eklund. I noticed in the last couple of laps, Sergio Mora is particularly good in turn one. That's where he's made up a lot of the time on Richard Eklund. As you see right there, he made up at least 2/10 just in that one turn. So I think Sergio might have the pace for Richard, but we know how aggressive Richard can be. He's not going to go down without a fight, and he is definitely going to hold on to that position for quite a few more laps. I don't see a move for the lead anytime soon. Richard's going to continue to power up these sections of Road Atlanta, very tricky section of the track. Coming onto that short straight, both drivers go wide, Richard. What are you seeing back in the back of the pack?
Now, we're sticking with this Richard Eklund, Sergio Mora battle just at the second. Sergio Mora is definitely catching Richard Eklund, but having said that, catching Richard Eklund is one thing, passing Richard Eklund is totally another. So this will be a battle that we will want to be watching as it pans out. I'm not sure that these guys have pitted yet, so they are going to the late pit stop, Bill.
No, Richard, right now it's a 34-second lead that Eklund has over Koeman's. So I don't know, can you get in and out in 34 seconds and hold the lead? We're going to have to see how Eklund's and Mora, these guys are really pushing it. They're running with light fuel loads. Maybe that's letting them go a little bit faster. The tires don't wear out so much with this new tire model, so they're probably not losing much ground that way. It's got to be pit stop time soon as I'm watching Eklund, and he's coming in right now. So, Brian, why don't you take a see if you can find Jan Koeman somewhere in the pack as Eklund and Mora are both in. If you can, where's Koeman's, and I'll tell you when Eklund comes out. Can you find Koeman's
Bill.
for me?
Yep, Koeman's, he's coming down the back spur right now, going through turn 8, I believe, right there through the kink as he's coming down the hill into the turns 9 and 10 chicane. So, Bill, not sure where the two drivers up in the front are, but right now...
Eklund and Mora have just pulled into their pit stalls.
Right. All right. So Jan Koeman's, he's coming around the hill. He's coming down the hill into turn 1. I didn't see he was behind him, but it seems like he lost a bunch of time. So there might have been an overrun on that chicane. And he said, right now, Jan Koeman's coming through the start-finish line. All right. So we got Jan Koeman's coming up the turn 1, and we see Eklund moving in pit lane. It doesn't look like he has enough. Koeman's is going to have most of the momentum here, but he's going to have to slow down, I believe, for Richard Eklund. It looks like Jan Koeman's beat Sergio Mora, but Eklund get out in front of Koeman. So right now we're looking at Eklund, followed by Koeman's, followed by Mora, Bill.
And that's how you cover a pitch change. Nice job by Giancarlo Lenzi there. We have Eklund in front now as he's made his pit stop. Koeman's is right behind him in second. Mora's in third. And there's Sam McAleer in that orange car running in fourth and having a great race from Sam now. Sam can keep it on the track. And if I'm looking at him right now, Sam is going to make a move on Sergio Mora, but thinks better of it. So Sam's running in fourth. If we drop all the way back, we have Thomas Szabo in fifth. Trevor Mack in sixth, I believe. Urianis seventh. And Yal Freitas is now up to eighth place as he's gotten around Brad Wooden. So keep an eye on Freitas in that green and red cozy cabin car. Back to you, Richard.
Right. And the battle here now, we mentioned Mora and Eklund before the pit stops. Now it is Koeman's and Eklund as Koeman's comes onto the back of Richard Eklund, and Jan Koeman's in that white car with the Motorhead signage on it is right on the back of Richard Eklund right now. Now, we did see that Jan Koolmans, Brian, was the fastest guy in qualifying. So he's on the back now of Eklund. Can Eklund hold him out? Meanwhile, behind them, there is a battle for third place between Sam McAleer and Sergio Moura. So two great battles for us to watch here. But let's stick with the first one here at the moment. The director has got us with Sam McAleer right now, so we'll stick with Sam McAleer as he tries desperately up in turn 1, going up into that up the hill into turn 3, probably one of the most difficult turns on this course, as he tries to get to grips with Sergio Moura. Sam McAleer, as you said, Bill, doing a great job, but just ahead of them. Let's move now to the battle for first place, Koolmans and Eklund. This is it. All the marbles are in play here, Brian.
Yeah, it looks like Koolmans is ready to get around Eklund. He's played out his pit stop. He's done everything right so far, and now it's just a matter of getting around Richard Eklund, which we've seen all season being very difficult. These two guys, I believe at Lime Rock even, had quite difficulty getting around each other. So the fact that these two guys are going at it again, this is going to be one exciting battle as we come down through turn 8 on the back straight. These two drivers have been going very hard today, and it's worth noting that, if my notes are right here, Koolmans had actually a pretty long pit stop, so the fact that he came out where he did was
making his move, Brian. He's making his move.
Yeah, it looks like we got Richard Eklund's on the inside coming down in the hill into the chicane. It looks like Koolmans got around him, and Eklund's going to tuck it in behind. He has nowhere to go, so it looks like Koolmans will be our race leader now, Richard.
That is fantastic racing from Koolmans right there. Richard Eklund kind of gave up quite tamely, I thought. But a great move, and we have Jan Koolmans back in the lead. Richard Eklund now watching from behind. Richard Eklund is by no means out of it, as he's right on the back. He actually has to brake early into turn 1 there to avoid hitting Koolmans. But I believe that we have the back marker salute, which is normally brought to us by Eagle Nest Tavern, is ready for us. Are you ready for us, Bill?
Let's do it. We'll go and interrupt me if Eklund makes a move back on Koolmans, which could happen. We're going to go back to Jonathan Kerr, the Roadster loyalist. He's currently running in 19th spot. You'll see him in that yellow car there. One spot ahead of him is Craig McKenzie running in 18th in that Stars and Stripes Old Glory car. He's doing very well in what we call the incidents per or miles per incident category. He's running second in that. He keeps his cars. We'll take a second to watch him. He keeps his car on the gray, and that's if you get on the green, you pick up points, minus points, and it'll hurt you in that category. We'll go one spot up to Benjamin Tucker. Eat fresh, Ben, as he's in that subway car. Nice job. One more spot up to 16th spot. The friendly Canadian in the little Turn 2 Motorsports, the old logo for Turn 2 Motorsports there is Stefan Morian. He's having a nice race running in 16th. One more spot up is George Fike. George likes to believe he wants to finish ahead of everybody that he qualifies in front of. So George is running in 15th. One more spot, as I have just enough time, is Benjamin Lanaway from Western Canada. Benjamin is looking to take over the Ironman lead for most miles run this race, because Amjad Yaman, who was leading it, had missed this race. He's not here today. So that's going to open up to Benjamin Lanneman to take that award. He's also the Season 5 champion in that category, so that'll be the first driver to double up on that. And real quick, if we can jump up to 8th spot is Yao Freitas. We've been keeping an eye on him all race. He's now up to 8th, and he's right behind Yuri Yanis. And I'm telling you guys, he's a zombie. You cannot kill this guy. They cannot get a headshot in here with him. You give him in the heart, you get him in the arm, it doesn't matter. He's going to end up with the top 5 by the time this is all done. Let's go back to the front, Rich.
All right, thank you for that, Bill. And we remind you that Eagle Nest Tavern sponsors the 60-second back marker salute. And check them out at greenvalleylake.com. Now, folks, we need to go back to the Sam McAleer at this case. Sam McAleer, Brian, has got by Sergio Moura, I believe, and yes, correct. So, and he's got quite a break on Sergio, so something must have happened to Sergio, or Sam McAleer has just passed him on pace.
I think it's a little bit of both, Richard. As we saw when Moura came out of pits right in front of McAleer, I believe, we saw that, well, let's see, McAleer had a little more pace, I guess you could say, and he got held up for quite a few laps. already before that Morto was racing overly hard. I think he was just pushing the car very hard, and I don't think he has the pace today. But at the same time, I just think that when he went wide initially a couple laps earlier, he might have done some damage to the car that we don't know about. I didn't see any contact with a wall or another person, but like I said, those bumps are bigger than they look, and it's very possible that he might be having some difficulties with his grip. So Moro not up to the pace he's normally at. McAleer putting on a good show. Like I said, it might be a little bit of both, Richard.
Yeah, well, what we can tell you is that Sam McAleer is running the race of his life right here. He must absolutely love this track because, don't get me wrong, he is catching up to Richard Eklund by the looks of things, Bill. It seems like he's got enormous pace here today.
You fans in Scotland, don't get your hopes up for Sam McAleer. He had such a fast shortstop and made up so much ground in the pits. We're going to watch him on the last lap and see if he actually gets it all the way home with the fuel he has left in the tank. Meanwhile, Yal Freitas is in a really tight battle. It looks like for 8th with Yuri Yanis as Freitas keeps making his way up. Real quick, if we talk about points, your leaders, if we go up them real quick, I'll scroll on up to them. Koumans and Eklund, they're the guys who are chasing Freitas, and they're going to make up some big points, even if Freitas only gets a top 5 or a 6th place. These guys, if they play it smart, and I think Eklund is doing that, I think Eklund now is thinking big picture. I don't expect him to be very aggressive on Koumans. A 2nd place is going to help him a lot more than a 15th place finish if they take each other out. Real quick on Eklund and Koumans. Eklund did not have a good qualifying. He qualified 9th. Koumans was our fastest qualifier. But right now, Eklund is able to hang on to him. There's a lot of draft here, so you can make up a lot of time hanging on to him. I'm not sure he's going to be able to get around him. Brian, do you think, if you go to the front, do you think Eklund has anything for Koumans in that white car?
Well, I don't know, Bill. Koumans has thrown on one good lap after another, and I don't see him making any mistakes, but I do think that Eklund has the pace, and the fact that he came out of pit road where he did and put on such a good show so far, I just think that Eklund might have it today, and he might come around with another win 2 weeks in a row. So, it's hard to say at this point. Coming down to the dying minutes of the race, though, I mean, I can't really tell which driver is doing a better job. They're both throwing down good pace. They're minimizing their mistakes. They're hitting their marks, and they're running very, very hard throughout every lap. So, Richard, maybe you could add to this story. This is a really great competition going on, and it's been fun to watch.
Absolutely. I have to say, Brian, that this has been a thrilling race around the front. Let's just look at Koumans and Eklund's going. They are virtually running exactly the same pace. I did see a bobble from Koumans going into the S's there, so that might be an opportunity. There's no doubt that Richard Eklund sitting behind Koumans saw that as well. As he gets the draft now. He goes to the outside. He has a bit of a look. Just hang on there, Bill. It's covered though, well covered by Koumans. And Koumans is pretty good through this particular section here and into turn 1. So the laps are running down. We're on lap 23. They're about to start lap number 24. So Bill, what is it you were going to say?
Well, Richard, let me ask you. My eyes are glued on that fluorescent blue car as he is stalking Koumans. Where would you think Eklund's best chance to make the pass? Can you do it in 1? Can you do it in that after the long straightaway into the, what is that, turn 6? Or do you have to do it before that little left-right chicane? What do you think?
Well, I can tell you from my own experience that probably the best chance of effecting an overtaking maneuver is at the bottom of the back straight. You've got to get next to the driver that you're trying to overtake. You've got to have the inside line, and you can make it happen. But other than that, on anyone, turn 1 is it's slated as an overtaking, a place where you can overtake, but it is very difficult to overtake there because you're carrying enormous speed on a turn, and you've got to be careful about slowing down for turn number 3, which is a vicious turn. So his best chance, without a doubt, in my opinion, humble though it may be, will be at the bottom of the straight. but at the moment he is not close enough to make it happen, so he's going to have to wait another lap at least before trying it. But see, you do catch a draft here, and you can see how he draws right onto the back of Koolmans right now as they come up the hill now to start lap number 25. Brian, the laps are definitely running out for these guys.
Yes, they are. And speaking of the draft, we just saw Sam McAleer talking through the text communications while driving, telling Sergio Moro to draft with him rather than fight with him. And that's the only way they're going to catch up to these guys in the front. But, you know, with the pace that Koolmans and Eklund are running, I don't think they're going to catch him. I think the two drivers up in the front have more than anyone can handle today, and it definitely shows. Right now, it looks like Eklund goes.
We have a bubble from Koolmans there, Brian, and Eklund is leading this race right now. Back to you.
Yeah, it looked like Koolmans missed his mark just a little bit coming out of that kink. It unsettled his car. He carried out into the grass to the left-hand side of that turn. We're going back to replay now, Richard. But yeah, it looked like Koolmans went a little wide, and that gave Eklund enough time to get around him, unfortunately for Koolmans, as he is now the race leader coming into the turn 6 and 7, Richard.
Having said that, it is not over yet. We are on lap 25. 2 laps to go after they come by the line. Koolmans will now have the draft heading down the hill on this back straight, which is very, very long, and there's enough opportunity here to catch a decent draft. Watch Richard Eklund go defensive here, guys, because he's not going to give up this position easily. Notice he's already towards the inside. He's watching to see what Koolmans is going to do. Koolmans is going to go now to the inside. There he goes. He's going to take this position back unless Eklund has something to cover him with. He can't. This is exactly what I said, Bill. This is how you the best opportunity to make an overtaking maneuver, and it's the best way to do it, as we just saw from Jan Koolmans right there.
Koolmans is like a cat playing with a mouse. That's so mean to Eklund. He gave him a little taste of the lead and said, that's enough, and I'm going to take that right back. And as we go now, as lap 26, we'll see if Eklund has anything to come back with. Back to you, Brian. What do you have to say?
I was going to say, coming down that hill, it's very important to note that for those that aren't familiar with Road Atlanta, that's the type of corner you're going to commit to, and if you're not 100% committed, you're going to lose out a ton of time, because you have to trust the guy next to you is not going to turn into you or even sees that you're there and not hit you. But you also got to trust your car and yourself to make sure you slow down enough not to hit the guy coming on your outside. It's a very tricky corner, and with the speed you carry down that back stretch, it's really easy to make a mistake. Luckily enough to see that these guys got through it clear, and now we have the battle going with Jan Koolmans in the lead again. Richard?
Yep, and we are on lap 26, folks. So this is the second last lap. When they cross the line, it will be the last lap. Now, what can Richard Eklund do? Can he, as we just watched behind them, McAleer and Mura as well. McAleer, fantastic job. Can Richard Eklund use the draft to his advantage and do what the Koolmans did in the previous lap? We will have to see. He goes currently to the outside. Now the draft kicks in. We see Koolmans covering. Koolmans goes to the inside immediately to make sure that that door is closed for Eklund, so he's not having or giving an opportunity to Eklund. But now Eklund has a good run out of the chicane. They go up over the hill, come down now. Last lap, Brian, last lap, your call.
Yeah, we just saw that Kim Vader said on the text communications. Unfortunately, the viewers can't see it, but Kim Vader has come back out on the track, and he was leaving pit road as they were coming around into the start-finish line. So we might have a slow Kim Vader come into the mix at some point during this last lap. Right now, Jan Koolmans comes up leading in turn 1 as Richard Eklund looks on the outside as they set up for turn 2. He ain't gonna get him. It looks like Jan Koolmans is gonna take the kink. He has a good release, a little bit of a bobble, but he's gonna hold on to that defensive line as Richard Eklund comes up behind him, coming into the Road Atlanta S turns. Jan Koolmans is taking away with the lead just a little bit as Sam McAleer now tries to catch up. Looks like Sam got back away from Mora. Mora has been overdriving. He's falling behind, but now back up to the front. We got Jan Koolmans followed close by Richard Eklund, and now Sam McAleer is trying to get into that draft as they come around into turn 6. Coming into turn 6, Richard Eklund looks on the inside. He has nowhere to go as Koolmans is going to hold on to the line coming into turn 7. Remember, as we said in the keys of the race, this is where you can make or break your race. So if Eklund gets a good release, he can outdraft Koolmans and do what he got done to him as they come around into the chicane. Richard?
And now this is the last lap, folks. Jan Koolmans leading, Richard Eklund in second place. He's got the draft. Coolmans will have to go defensive here to maintain
McAleer's out of gas.
his position. Just leave that for the moment, Bill. We see Eklund on the outside. Eklund passes, but does he have enough? Coolmans is on the inside. They're going virtually side by side. No, Eklund being on the outside had to check up and allow Coolmans to get through. Coolmans will win this race. Eklund, a wise move there. Second place will get him a lot of points. And where is Yao Freitas? This is where we got to put the cameras on Yao Freitas. Yao Freitas now coming through the chicane behind Zabo. He's going to make a move on Zabo. Zabo is closing the door a little bit. He's on the outside. Can they finish? Can he pass him? He can't. Zabo looks like he's still got that position ahead of Freitas. And Trevor Mack was still ahead of Zabo. So a fantastic finish from the pack there. But a great finish, Brian, from Jan Koolmans, and a great battle for first place from both Jan Koolmans and Eklund.
Yeah, I just wanted to say Sam McAleer, to Bill's point, ran out of gas, and that's why we saw him lose ground to Sergio Mora. But it looks like Sam is going to roll in and take fourth place, followed by Trevor Mack in fifth. So we had a few drivers that normally don't finish up this high have a good finish today, Bill.
Yeah, what a battle! What a almost a pass for the lead there from Eklund. McAleer running out of gas, had to give up third place, but fourth place. You know, you run out of gas a corner short. There's no shame in that. So pretty good race. Let's go back to you, Rich.
Yep, and you called it, Bill. Let me just say that you said that McAleer's pit stop was too short for him to have taken enough fuel. So a great call from our league organizer, Bill Zahn. But folks, we are going to take a break right now, and then we are going to come back and give you the full standings as everyone's celebrating and wrecking their cars. We will come back with the full standings and do some driver interviews. Welcome back, folks, to the Green Valley Lake MX-5 World Tour. As usual, we saw one heck of a race once again, and it was won by none other than Jan Koeman. So a great finish. Let's go now, Brian, through the full standings for the folks at home, and let them know who won and who came last. So over to you.
Right. So our race winner today was Jan Koemans with an impressive battle over Richard Eklund. Richard comes in second place. He had a great race as well. Sergio Mora, despite overdriving the car, he comes in third. Sam McAleer rolls in out of gas on fourth place. Big finish today for Trevor Mack as he comes in fifth, followed by Thomas Zabo in sixth. Yao Freitas, unlike himself today, he'll come in seventh, but not a horrible finish. Timo Tuliani comes in eighth. Jake Tucker a little ways up today. He's in ninth place, followed by Yair Giannis in 10th. Brad Woodens in 11th and Arthur Chance in 12th. Richard?
And Simon Van Duyn came in 13th in a handy finish. Benjamin Lanowet in 14th place. George Fike finished in 15th. Stefan Morien finished in 16th place. Ben Tucker in 17th. And the last of the drivers on the lead lap was Craig McKenzie in 18th place. Bill?
Jonathan Kerr in 19th, Ayrton Ellis in 20th, Heinrich Lawrence, boy, we didn't hear much from him, 11th back. Something must have happened as he finished 21st and 11 laps out. P.R. Sunderswaran, one of the 5 drivers on iRacing from India, finished 22nd, and Joseph Aro wrapping up the field in 23rd. Let's do some interviews. Richard?
Yeah, just mentioning that Kim Veiter finished in 24th and in 25th place, Mihai Misasan. So that's the full field for you. We are now going to start our interviews. I'm looking forward to this. So let's start off with Bill, and Bill will be talking to Jay Yanis.
Yuri, do you have me?
Oh, 1 second, Bill.
Yuri's coming in, and Yuri finished 10th today. He's had a rough season, not really up to his standards. Yuri, do you have me? And Yuri Yanis, you got me? And tell you what, let's go. Yuri, we'll try one more time, then we'll go back to Richard. Mr. Yanis from Finland, do you have me, sir? And he does not, so let's go back to Richard Eklund.
All right, so at this point, we will now discard that interview. We'll go to Sam McAleer, bring Sam McAleer in, and Bill, you can talk to Sam McAleer.
Okay, Sam, we saw your whole race. I was on you the whole time. A great pit stop got you in great position. Let me ask you this: you must have known you were short on fuel when you were battling with Mora there at the end. Were you trying to conserve, or what were you doing?
Well, originally I was trying to catch up with Richard and Jan so that I could get in the draft of them and save some fuel. I didn't actually know if I was going to run out or not, but when I exited the pits it was going to be close. And unfortunately I did, as you saw.
It was very exciting to see. And yeah, and you were, while they were battling for the lead, you were closing some ground and left Mora behind. Let me ask you this. Well, how can I phrase this? We looked in the forums the other day, and one of the things that I thought was very interesting for you was you said part of racing is making it difficult on the guy that you're racing with, and I think sometimes that gets you into problems where you end up making it so difficult that you end up in the wall. Do you ever consider taking it a little easier or being a little more, not considerate, but making it a little less difficult on your competitors? What do you think about that?
Not at all. I'm right at it the whole time. And unfortunately that can go bad for me as well, like you said, and that's how I've ended up off the track so many times. But unfortunately I think I'm going to be getting a race ban for today after I hit Zhao off, because I missed my braking point and just went straight into the back of him, and I've already got a 3-point penalty standing.
Well, that's what the penalty's there for. It's a little stop and go, as a little slap on the wrist for you. You know what? Nonetheless, it was an impressive finish today. Fourth place, nice job from you. We'll hope to see you serve that stop and go next week, if that actually is what's going to end up happening. And we'll see you down the road, okay?
Nice talking to you, Bill.
Back to you, Richard.
Okay, now we have Janice back with us. He has fixed his problem. So, Brian, why don't you talk to Janice?
Hey, Giannis, how you doing today, buddy?
Well, I'm doing quite good, but the race wasn't that good. It was
Yeah,
fun though.
Tell us about your race today. You started on the pole and had a very good opening set of laps, and then everything just kind of unraveled. What happened out there?
Yeah, I kept making mistakes in turn one because it first understeers and then it tends to oversteer. I overshoot it a couple of times and lost the lead and lost more positions later on when I made the same mistake again.
Yeah, we saw Jan Koemans have a long pit stop today. Yao Freitas missed his pit stall, and Sam McAleer ran out of gas at one point. So, what was your mindset going into today's race and looking at pit strategy at a tough track like Road Atlanta?
Well, I was kind of waiting for the race to show how it goes and then make a call if I want to pit early or late. If I could have been in front, I would have come in really late, but since I got stuck in traffic after my mistakes, I decided to come in pretty early on.
Well, this was race 12 of 15, and we've had a very good time watching you this season through the good and the bad. Always a pleasure to have you down here, Mr. Giannis. Thank you for coming and talking to us today, and we'll see you next week at the next race.
Thank you, Brian.
Back to you, Richard.
Okay, well, there we are. Yanis, always good to watch, always fast. Now we are going to bring in Richard Eklund, and I'm going to have a chat with Richard Eklund. Richard, a great battle in the closing laps there between yourself and Jan Koemans. You did manage to get past him, and then it seemed to me you were a little bit conservative in that last lap there and allowed him to get away with the win.
Yeah, for the last few laps after I pitted, I think it was the 10 laps we had to go, I was messaging him because I saw Sergio and Sam were closing in on us, so I messaged Jan and I told him not to battle until the end of the race. I didn't want to get caught up in a four-way battle instead of a two-way battle. Then he made a mistake, so I got by him. Then I guess he ignored my messages to not battle me, so I just let him by so we wouldn't lose too much time. And then followed him. I was planning on just trying to get him in the chicane in the last lap. I know I would only have one shot at it, and I was gonna try to do the under-over on him, but I was too far alongside him, so I couldn't quite do that. So didn't quite work. But second from ninth position is still okay.
Yeah, well, I got to tell you, it was great watching it on the broadcast and calling the race. You guys impressed me week after week with your speed and with your car control. Fantastic to watch, Richard. Now, this second place won't hurt your championship chances at all. In fact, we'll have to see how it works out. But are you now considering going for the championship again?
I think Joao finished 7th, I believe. So 2nd, 7th. There's a decent gap there, but he'll still have the lead. I qualified 9th today on these draft tracks. If you don't have a draft, you have no chance of getting a good qualifying. I couldn't find anybody to draft with. I tried doing it with Sam for a bit, but couldn't quite get a lap in, so I didn't get any qualifying points today. So he'll probably finish ahead of me this season in those points, and so I don't know. I think it's still his championship to lose, but I'm definitely a bit closer. I'll try to win, but if I don't win, it's not the end of the world.
Well said, my friend. Look, we wish you all the best for the remaining 3 races. We've just finished 12 races now. You are second in the standings going into this race. So who knows what will happen. There's plenty of opportunity. We want to thank you for talking to us. And most of all, we want to thank you for the exciting races that you and the other guys put on for us every single week. So thank you, Richard. Now we are going to bring in our winner of this race, and it's none other than Jan Koemans, and we're going to get Bill to talk to Jan. Go ahead, Bill.
Oh, I get Jan again. Cool. Mr. Koemans, you got to stop teasing the drivers. You let Eklund get by you there, gave him a little hope, and then you took it away from him. Were you worried when he got around you there in the closing laps?
Yeah, it's very difficult, Bill, because of the draft, obviously. I mean, the back straight is so long. You have to try and get the best exit you possibly can out of the really, really difficult right-hander there. So it was tough. A few laps before the end, Richard actually sent me a message like, let's not fight too much because Sam behind us was catching up. So at that point, I knew I could drive pretty safe for a couple of laps, but then in the end, I had a really good run on him, and even though he sent me a message as I was almost side by side to not pass me yet, I just kind of passed him anyway. Which I don't know. With two laps to go, I didn't think I should let him go for that one.
Well, maybe if you could have just waited till the race was over and then you could have passed him, because that would have been probably the best way to save time, don't you think?
Possibly, yeah. I'm just really puzzled where I keep losing time on the pit stops. It's like either I need more fuel than anybody else, or the stops take longer, because I felt that I had a really good pit stop and I had some really, really quick laps after my pit stop, and I still lost 3 seconds somewhere, more than 3 seconds. So I got to see where that came from.
Well, it's another win for you, and I'm telling you, you're still in the hunt. If you can put one of those Jan Koeman's get on a roll type things, you could pick up a 4th championship. So good luck to you, and we hope to see you next week.
Thanks, Bill. I really fancied my chances. Unfortunately, I will not be here for the final 2 races, so that's going to really shoot me in the foot there.
Well, disaster could happen. Maybe iRacing will go down or something, and you can get it that way. It's going to be tough if you're not for the last 2 races. Jan, it's always great to have you around, man. Thank you.
Thanks, Bill. See you.
All right, back to you, Richard.
Well, folks, that is it for this broadcast. It is, as usual, I keep saying it, but we have to give kudos to these absolutely wonderful drivers. Brian, certainly these guys are the best of the best. There's no doubt about it, and we enjoy watching them. What were your thoughts on this race? I know that when we went in, you didn't think that Jan Koeman's would win it. So what are your thoughts now?
Well, Jan Freitas is such a good driver, and he's always put up a good fight regardless of how he was feeling or what was wrong with his car. And just the fact that he finished kind of quietly today in 7th place really took me by surprise. Also, sad news about Jan Koeman's going to miss the last 2 races here. Jan, I mean, I could be bought. If you want me to call you the winner for the next 2 races, I'll send you a billing address and we'll get you all sorted out, buddy. Anyways, with the end of the season coming up, I think we're going to see something great, Richard. It's good stuff, and it was a good race nonetheless. I've been wrong in the past, so moving forward, yeah, just a great race. I had a lot of fun watching it.
Thank you, Brian, and a great call by yourself as well. Bill, your thoughts on this race? This is your league. It's a fantastic league and certainly brings a lot of excitement to MX-5 racing. What were your thoughts on this race?
3 quick points. First of all, the first point, I love the show that the drivers put on. They put on a nice, entertaining race for the drivers to watch in the rebroadcast or for fans to watch live. Second point was I mentioned to Sam McAleer about his aggressive style of driving, and that was before I realized that he actually was the driver that punted. Well, it looks like a punt. Sorry, Sam. I'll look at it. I'm on IRT duty, but first look like a punt. That punted Jan Freitas off the track and really kind of ruined Freitas' day. So, you got to be careful out there. And the third point, real quick, is Jan Koeman's may not win every race, but I've never seen him actually get beat. He may go off the track, he may crash, he may make a mistake that costs him the lead. But if he races without a mistake, there's nobody faster than Jan Koeman's. Back to you, Rich.
Well, that is well said, Bill. There's some that would disagree with you about Jan Koeman's, and those would be some of the drivers in the championship who feel that they have every chance of trying to beat Jan Koeman's. But I reckon you're close to the mark there. Jan Koeman's is one of the greats, there's no doubt about it. But so's Richard Eklund, so's Jan Freitas. So we will see how this championship pans out. 3 more races to go. But as usual, we have to come to the end of a broadcast. And at the end, we wish to thank some people. So let's get into it. We wish to thank a number of people and organizations for bringing this race to you. First of all, our sponsors. We thank Cozy Cabins, Eagle Nest Tavern, and the Welcome Inn Bed and Breakfast for their sponsorships in the series. We do appreciate them, guys. For more information about Green Valley Lake, which is called the best kept secret in California's San Bernardino Mountains, please visit green-valley-lake.com. I've already thanked Bill, the organizer, for putting on this great league, but I will thank him again. Thank you, Bill. It's a wonderful, wonderful league that you have here. We also thank iRacing.com. We thank XSplit, Twitch TV, Audio Technica, and Ava Media for providing us with great software and hardware that we use for the broadcasts. We also wish to thank the team. Brian, great job today, as usual. Bill, fantastic call. Giancarlo, great directing. We thank you for that. And folks, if you'd like to find out more about us, GSRC, our website is globalsimracingchannel.com. You can find our broadcast schedule there, along with a lot of archived races, all of our archived races in fact, and also race highlights. We are also on Facebook at facebook.com/Global Sim Racing Channel, and we're on Twitter at GSR Channel. Special thank you to Eric Ekholm for the great music that he provides us. You can find it here on GSRC, but also in TV commercials and movie trailers, iTunes, and even Spotify. If you do like the music, please tell Eric Ekholm where you heard it, and his hashtag is at ericekholm.com. Thanks also to Casey Lalonde, who provides us with music for highlight videos. You can find more of his music at caseylalonde.bandcamp.com. Now, we have one upcoming event for this particular weekend. It's the Piston Cup Oval Race tomorrow on the 6th of April at 18:45 UTC, and that will be at Charlotte Oval. Looking forward to that. It'll be the Fanaleds 200, so that'll be a great race. And that'll be it for this weekend. The next MX-5 World Tour race will be not next week, in fact, but on the 19th of April at 1900 UTC, and that'll be at Okayama Full. We will no doubt have another great race to bring to you there. I have no other information about upcoming races at this point in time, so we say to you folks, race clean, race hard, and we'll see you on the track.